Yes. Go in the swamp, harvest things. Try to find out what can we even take on these creatures here. Either way, after that, we'll probably head toward the mine, the old mine. If I'm not mistaken, we should have a map for that anyway. No, we don't. Ooh, I did check the how attributes affect combat, I mean strength and dexterity, and I didn't get a clear answer, but I got the impression that strength does affect the damage you do in melee. With range weaponry, dexterity doesn't. I think their skill has an effect, while on the other hand, melee, the skill does not have an effect on directly to damage. It will have effect naturally on your combination attacks and speed of your attacks, that sort of thing, but not to damage directly. Point is though that just buffing strength alone would be a valuable thing to do if you want to focus in melee combat. Sure, we can even handle a single one of these. Give it a try though. Okay, how do you fight? Swamp shards. I'm not doing a single point of damage to it. It's very slow. Okay, it's not slow. I'm stuck. I'm not hitting. I have no idea how to harm the bastard, and it's definitely out of our league then. Maybe there's a secret. Who knows? I think it's immune to pretty much everything we can throw its way. So yeah, this is an abort. I haven't found out, actually I don't think I tried to find out what's causing the fact that sometimes you just can't harm things. Here it might be because coal simply doesn't work on it. Combination of that sort of thing. By the way, not an opponent we can face with our current abilities. I'm thinking of upgrading our strength if I can. If it has an effect, it would be very, very useful. I mean, that's what we use constantly because we have to. The magic simply isn't good enough to handle most situations at the moment.
I'm not listening. Rely on somebody and you're in trouble. That's how.
I do want to have enough funds to get to the second spell, tier 2 spell.
Some people never learn.
Not sure if we can start the mine quite yet, but I certainly want to move in that general direction. I do want to fight as much as possible while we're going in that way.
Awaken!
Can you train me?
Strength and dexterity are as important as the power of the mind.
So we have a strength of 30 now. Not sure how much of a difference that will make, but at least we have it. It'll probably be necessary for weapon upgrades anyway. And I still don't have any idea what the maximum attributes are, if there are any.
Awaken!
They just might become. I'm assuming there is, because it's a pretty standard number. I mean, it doesn't take any extra skill points to increase, so I would assume there is a maximum.
I want to acquire magic writings.
Yes, I do. The blood class. Potion of sweetness. Ring of core skin. Protection against weapons 10. Protection against weapons. Magic. Arrows. Wow. Wonder if we would buy a transformation to mine crawler if we sneak around in the mines. Okay, healing light. Fist of wind. That's 500. That's a lot. $350 from those swords alone. That's quite nice. Okay, we can afford it, at least this one. I'll add the light room there too. Not sure if we can afford that now. If not, we'll have to go and buy torches, I feel. We could afford it. But we have 12 torches. Not sure if that's enough. Going to have to be enough. Yeah. If there's one good thing about that came from the attribute chairs, what they affect, is that I also learned how to sell transfer individual items instead of gigantic stacks of items. The reason why I didn't discover it before is because the game differentiates these movement actions between actually moving left and strafing left, for example. So what my controls have is strafe left, which allows you to manipulate the controls perfectly. However, in the shopping interface, the strafing is used to move larger stack of items instead of individual units, and the actual sort of lean left is used to move individual items. So that's why it never the issue never really came up. Yeah, one item at a time. It's only possible. If I use the standard controls, it's 10 items at a time. Well, I guess better than better late than never. Yeah, we can afford it. 928. So we can add something there. Do you have any funds I'd add? Not really. Why water? Why is having water bottles a thing? Yeah, that's fine. So that's 2 new runes for us. Five, 6. Okay, so this is a light spell. And we have a storm spell. Light spell I didn't want just because of the mine. I wanted to, if we basically get into nighttime adventuring, so I don't have to just go down, lay down and sleep every time. We can just continue on with some extra lighting. I want to test if our storm spell would work a little bit better on the swamp shark. Why can't I target things? And too shit. Yeah, I think it was a worthwhile experiment though. So, swamp sharks are allowed. I still like to get some kind of idea how useful that storm spell is going to be. It should be basically twice as damaging as the ice spell. Practical. Oh my god, it's terrible. Practical situations it might not quite be. It certainly functions in a different way. That isn't a long range spell, that's how it seems at least. Definitely need to understand how it works better before we can rely on it in a combat environment. Hey, can I just go somewhere? Take a nap? No, the leader of the Brotherhood probably isn't the place to try to find a place to sleep.
You have to watch what you tell people. That won't keep out again. People.
Use that. Slept well and feel better.
That's really not.
Okay, why is this light still following us?
That had been cleared up.
It might be an in-game time that it stays there and then it just goes away.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear. Something about that story after all.
Other way. We're heading towards the old mine. I'd really like to test this. Probably sooner rather than later. Wonder if the lights both can be turned off when you desire. No idea how you would do that. In general, there's no real way to turn off things like that. This effect will just last until it runs out. At least this should be a nice place to test, yeah. It'll last for a certain time, then just run. Yeah. As far as I can tell, the old mine is on the northern edge, on the northwestern edge, the cave entrance is seen there. So from here we basically go to the old camp and head north. I'll accept that. What? Yeah, it seems to be quite effective. What the hell is that? Yeah, I think our hit damage increased quite a bit. Has to be the strength. Basically, we're getting single shot kills now from these guys. Come on, come on. So definitely quite a bit tougher strikes. Wonder where I'm going. It really looks like some kind of a cave. And there's really nothing. Maybe it's supposed to be a wolf cave, that sort of area. And we're getting a solid murder spree going here. Even meat has its value, if nothing else. Wolves. I'm inclined to go after them. It's pretty important. What is that? That's definitely more of an area effect thing. I'm stuck, I can't do anything. Ah, fucking game. This game could be, I feel, could be fairly solid, even good, but the controls just... There hasn't been, I think, maybe a handful of fights, I mean proper fights, that there is an actual back and forth going on, where I felt that I basically was able to do what I wanted to do without too much fuss. Every other fight is basically more of a problem because I can't just fight with the controls. It just won't work. Something gets stuck. Something just doesn't work at all. It seems like it's fairly infrequent to see, but basically a game ruined by a bad user interface control system. I applaud the work everyone else on the team put into this. Whoever you designed the user interface, you basically screwed up your entire team's work effort. You ruined the entire team's work. You, no one else. I have no idea how successful this game might have been at the time. I have very hard time believing it would be too successful. Mainly, if you take away the control scheme, it's probably a very solid game. But it's just so. I mean, did someone actually think that it was a good system? I can't really figure out a way why it's made like this anyway. It could be because it's a first game of a series, and well, if you start a gaming series and you're not a veteran developer, you probably screw up quite a lot in your first attempt compared to your later attempts. So maybe when we move the Gothic 2, and we will, things will improve on this front. Certainly hope so. Even if it stays the same, I would consider that unacceptable. It's the biggest complaint I have about this game so far. The running around and sort of a slow start, that can be a very typical any kind of a gaming experience that has that very sharp learning curve. You just don't know where to do as a new player. You don't know how to approach that the correct way, because you don't know what's important and what isn't, where you should be finding the useful information or skills and whatnot, since nothing is explained, no game mechanics are explained, nothing really, so you're basically left to experiment. And experimenting means a lot of wasted time, because you are going to also try out things that don't work. You're going to do things the wrong way. And just finding out the information in the first place can take quite a lot of effort. Here it's probably the trainers, who's who, who's where. Certain level of basic information that just isn't readily available. Did get a level up though. 49 that, so we had 12 skill points again. Level 9. I think I'll go back to the city there and take a rest. I would like to cast a spell a little bit more. I think if you have an individual opponent and you have a lot of room to maneuver, the frost attack, ice bolt, is probably the better choice. You're facing group of enemies. We'll have to quickly deal with them. Then the storm fist, it seems to be a lot better choice. We don't have a huge amount of mana though, 15, so that's basically 5 attacks with the charged up storm fist. The problem there, or the problem, quotation mark problem, is that I don't know if investing in mana is a smart thing to do. The problem there is I can't see magic as it is at the moment being able to carry us. So investing heavily in it so we could cast our spells, kill things, might still lead to a situation where we basically, okay, you can kill things, but at the same time you're going to have to either go and rest constantly or have a huge amount of mana restoration things before you can play the game properly. I just don't see it being a replacement for physical combat in any way. We do have a house here. Negative side would be that there's also mud here. And I hope we can avoid him. If we were just no physically injured, it wouldn't be too bad. We could have just healed up easily. But I do want my magic to be there. If nothing else, we can use it to as a replacement for torches in a tight spot.
I thought that I doubt that's ever likely to change. I'm not listening to all that blathering.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Okay, let's head towards the old mine.
I'm not listening to.
Some people never.
That's really not my problem.
That's
Wonder where the plot of the game is gonna take us. It's probably convergent in some way. I mean, it doesn't matter which faction you choose. The major plot lines will be more or less the same.
That's how it goes.
There must be something about that
It
story
was obvious
after
that
all.
I'm guessing it has something to, if I have to guess, something to do with the initial dome on this prison was not meant to include the mages, so something went wrong there, and I'm inclined to think that that's probably where the main plot goes. I mean, something had to be here that caused the spell to function in a way they didn't mean to, so I'm guessing we'll find out what it is, we'll have to deal with it, and that will lead us also to basically escape the barrier one way or another. Alternatively, we'll get rid of the barrier first, and then whatever caused the disruption becomes a problem. Either way. Yeah. This game has oddities.
Better keep out of it.
Okay. Yeah, now if we just head north, there should be a basically a dead end there. But we are much stronger than when we previously were when we tried to
I'm not listening
here.
to all that blathering.
We were strong enough to take care of business. Juvenile scavengers. Only worth a single piece of meat. Okay. Still just scavengers. If we spot anything more dangerous, I'll just say. I think those are the dinosaurs. Yeah. We would try to take down a single one. If we attack with magic, they're both going to be attacking us. I'm stuck! Yeah, I'm totally stuck! Screw you, game! Screw you! Hmm. I'm wondering if the getting stuck thing is something to do with trying to use a mouse with this. Maybe relying solely on keyboard for the combat sections might work better. I haven't really tested that. It might work. If it would work, it would certainly be a better option, at least in we encounter some heavier combat sections. I sort of get the impression that the mouse control system wasn't major focus on development, so it's not the main control scheme intended for the game. I don't really get why forests are supposed to be so dangerous here. Maybe it was just because at the early game, wolves are so dangerous that they will murder you without a doubt, so the game is basically warning you off. It's an odd sort of a scale the game gives us for fighting. Very infrequently there's a good balance there. There's always either the opponents are something that you have trouble even harming, or they're something that you can just take 2 hits and the fight is over. It's a very odd balance. I mean, like it's almost never balanced. It's either way too easy or way too hard. Yeah, this is sort of totally pointless killing of NPCs, but it sort of seems, I've said this probably before, that the leveling up seems to be mostly based on this. And it seems intended like you go around killing everything. If you try to avoid it, you basically just hit a wall where you can't deal with the monsters coming your way. Okay, our weapon seems to work just fine, but it has a very aggressive attack. So, Okay. Basically, would need to block his aggressive attack, then get a few returned attacks. Two is way too much. We probably could use spells to kill one. Again, I don't particularly see any point trying to bash my head against that particular wall. I doubt we'll get anything worthwhile from that. Yeah, when the alternative is basically just go in there and take a hit on enemy and you get 70 points. Yeah, didn't work quite as well as I expected. I was hoping it was a shorter fall. So basically a little entrance so you could go there and try to figure out what possible interesting things there might be there. But no. Looks like a lot of moles. No, it doesn't look all that interesting of a place. Basically a minor tunnel in the middle of the forest that doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Our second plate. We should be fairly close to Old Mine at this point. At least I assume this is the Old Mine. I don't actually know. There have been maps being available for sale. I sort of thought I already had one myself. Now that I think about it, probably should have been a great waste, not a great use of our resources to go and buy one. I would assume this is mainly abandoned. No chest, no nothing. Just an entrance. Yeah, it's opened up. Okay, let's go into the old mines then. Want to make sure we can actually go there before ending here. Or nugget. I wonder how this works. I mean, am I getting ore nuggets with each strike? Or what? Look at our ore situation now. 454. It's not changing, so I'm wondering, do you need to keep hitting this for long until it's not available for you to hack anymore? How does this work? Four, 5, 4. Yeah, we're definitely not getting anything from this. So how does ore work? Oh, here. This is a mine of a sort. And it is dark as shit, so this is probably what we have to come here for. I am a little bit worried though. My main worry is the map. I want to test out, do we have additional maps, because we have 2 map of the colonies. I would assume they're basically the same map. New camp overview. No, I don't like this. Definitely want to go here. But I do recall there being an old mine map being sold, at least in the old camp. So it could be a lifesaver here. We don't know what kind of a hellhole that is. Maybe it's something we can easily just go in there and clean out totally. It could, but it could be a place that is fairly dangerous, and knowing your way around there, I mean, you have enough resources to make it if you know your way around there more or less. So the map could be a lifesaver. From a role-playing perspective, it makes no sense to go there without a map since we have the resources to actually afford the map. It just makes no goddamn sense. Hopefully we can go back and get it fairly swiftly. I'm not going here by accident. I recall there being 2 chests here that we couldn't lockpick earlier. Now we have a lockpicking skill. It doesn't guarantee success by any rate, but we should have enough lockpicks to make it through. This is our first proper attempt at lockpicking. It's a memory game, I know that. Left and right. Shit, okay. Right. Right. Right, right, left. Right, right, left, right. A big clock, beer, torches, grilled meat, and oh, no. That at all. And we didn't lose a lockpick, we gained one. Left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left. More big clocks, beer, torches, arrows. So, and we've got the basics down. It's a fairly simple system, and I don't dislike it. It's not a good pick locking system, but it is. Because it's basically based on chance. There's nothing for me to really use a skill on. Skill just gives us a better chance, but it's still chance based. There's no player skill involved, so it's not a particularly good system. But it mimics at least a little bit an effort to lockpick, and more importantly, it seems to be fairly fast. So it's not a usually involved mini games. It takes a lot of time. You either succeed and fail. If you invested a lot of your skill points in lockpicking, it's probably very quick to go through. You'll be more or less guaranteed success. I wanted to meet you. Maps.
I'd like to buy a map.
Sure. What do you think?
There's a sketch. Map of the old mine, please. Overview of the old camp, yeah, why not? And a sketch. I have no idea what the sketch is about. I'm taking a bottle of water because I have no idea what's the point. Wait. Ah, yeah. Our offer isn't quite that valuable. So let's look. Was it worth it? Overview of old camp. Yeah, this is worthless. But there seems to be at least 4 major sites inside the castle wall, so... But still, that's worthless. Old mine. What's the sketch? Yeah, that wasn't worth it. But the pornographic sketch could be... not exactly pornographic, but erotic sketch could be a quest item somewhere. What? That's your old mine map? X on where the old mine is. Ah, that's what a worthless piece of shit.
Hey,
now
just take.
That's really not.
Yeah. I was expecting something a little bit more than an X on a map we already have. That was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Well, now we know how useful maps are. For life, we don't have full mana, but I don't think that really matters. What happened there? Ah, yeah. Don't have full mana, but we have a couple of mana restoration items. So I'm not too worried about that, and we're not relying on that anyway when fighting. Okay, the old mines awaits. So there's a couple of things we need to do. First and foremost, we need to get the mine crawler parts. We already know how to harvest the parts we need. Second, we need to find a more potent source of the excretion. So we have a 2-source mission, 2-stage mission there. Yeah, they actually fly. Yeah, come get me. It's stuck on the tree. I think it's stuck. Whatever. Feel free to attack if you ever get unstuck. I have to hope that we at least have the fighting capability to harm them very reliably. If they're on the level of some of these, those little dinosaurs, for example, this isn't going anywhere. What bothers me the most is I don't understand the basis behind that. There isn't any armor class in this game in that sense, there's just damage reduction. Actually there's the evasion skill, but it's clearly a lot of these are not using it. We're getting hits on them, we just aren't damaged. I'd like to know why. Is it a lack of skill in the weapon? Is it a lack of strength? What is it? Either way, old mines are ready and waiting. I don't even know if this is in another section. From the looking of the map, it could be as simple as a minor cave area, but listening to all the talk about the mine crawlers, I have to assume it is at least somewhat sizable cave section. We'll see.